Earlier on Fox and Friends, Rudy Giuliani firing back as he prepares the president for a potential Mueller sit-down.
This started as collusion with the Russians. No.
Right.
Now they go to obstruction of justice, collusion among the players. What they're really trying to do is trap them into perjury. Maybe they like to give us all the things that Clinton got. We're asking for only one thing, quite reasonable. This is the President of the United States. He's getting ready to negotiate probably one of our most historic agreements. We have to go there and prepare him for this silly deposition.
All right, here to react, White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders. Hi, Ms. Press Secretary. Great to see you.
Good morning.
Just to your response to Rudy Giuliani, new to the legal team but heading up things, how much of a distraction is it?
Look, we come here every single day. We're focused on the task at hand, whether it's in negotiations and conversations with China on trade, whether it's getting prepared for the summit to take place with North Korea, whether it is focused on growing the economy, creating jobs. That's what we're certainly focused on. That's what we would like the media to be focused on. But this is certainly, I think, a distraction. But I think it's a distraction to the American people, and I think it's a real disservice to them not to get to hear about a lot of the great things that are taking place in this administration and a lot of the big things that have global impact that are going to be taking place over the next couple of months.
Well, I tell you what, Sarah, I've got a feeling, although we've been busy doing this show for 2 hours and 25 minutes, on the other shows, they're talking about the fact that Rudy Giuliani was on with Sean Hannity last night and on with us today, talking about how the president personally reimbursed his attorney, Michael Cohen, for that payment to Stephanie Clifford to have that story essentially disappear before the election. What would you like to say about what we have heard from the former mayor of New York City in the last 12 hours?
Look, Mayor Giuliani is part of the president's legal team. He's got visibility and insight into this issue. He's spoken about this at length both last night and this morning. I would refer you back to his comments, particularly given the fact that this is ongoing litigation. It's something that we at the White House can't comment on, and I would refer you both to his comments as well as the president's tweets from earlier this morning.
All right, well, it's definitely something that's in the news. We have to talk about it, but let's get on to other things, other hot topics or big topics that do affect the average American. We're talking about North Korea. The president, I mean, this would be unbelievable if the president sits down with Kim Jong-un and Kim Jong-un gets rid of their nuclear weapons. We're also concerned about those 3 Americans that are there in North Korea. We're being told some of those hostages could be freed. What's the latest on that?
Certainly, that would be an incredible step and certainly a sign of goodwill moving into the summit, moving into these discussions with North Korea. I can't comment any further at this point, but that would be a great example of goodwill and certainly another step in the right direction and a really good step and part of the process that we're working towards leading up to this summit. We, again, are cautiously optimistic about where this will go. As the president has said, we'll see what happens. He's been extremely tough on North Korea. He's had the ability as a strong leader to bring in our allies and partners in the region to get them to step up and put pressure on North Korea like we haven't seen in the past. And they're starting to feel that pressure. You can see by the movements that they've made, by the concessions they're beginning to make, and the comments that they've made publicly that they want to have this conversation. Again, they are feeling the pressure that has been put on them at the president by the president's leadership, and we're certainly moving forward in this process, but we remain, again, cautiously optimistic about everything leading into these talks.
Would you be surprised if something happened today?
I wouldn't say that we have an announcement, certainly right in this moment. But again, we are seeing signs of progress, and certainly this would be a huge statement by the North Koreans and something that would certainly be a great sign of goodwill prior to a sit-down with President Trump and Kim Jong-un.
Well, let's talk a little bit about that sit-down. We know it probably will be in the DMZ betwixt North and South Korea. But what's the timetable? I mean, we heard from Rudy on the couch. He doesn't want the president to even consider sitting down with Mr. Mueller until after this happens, the North Korean summit. So when is the North Korea summit going to happen?
As you know, I'm not going to be able to, as much as I'd love to make an announcement on Fox and Friends, I'm not going to be able to put that information out this morning on either the location or the date. But certainly things are moving forward and moving forward quickly. And as the president said earlier this week, we expect something to be out soon on more details revolving that meeting.
So everyone's looking forward to seeing the next director of the CIA. Acting Director Gina Haspel has been nominated. She spent her entire career at the CIA. I know people at the agency are over the moon about the chance to have somebody who grew up in the agency run them. However, huge headwinds are straight ahead for some reason because of her alleged role in black sites and enhanced interrogation. Both, I think, are resume builders, if you ask me, because it was approved by the Department of Justice. Tell me about Gina Haspel's path to success.
Look, you've got one of the most highly qualified, most capable individuals that's being put up to be the director of the CIA that we've probably ever had. There's a reason that she's got widespread support from people all across the spectrum that have worked at the CIA, that have led the CIA, both Republicans and Democrats, administrations. This is somebody who could not be more qualified to lead this agency. She's got the confidence of the rank and file within the department because she has been part of it. As you said, she grew up in this department. She is prepared to step in and lead on day one, and we feel very good about the fact that she's probably one of the most qualified nominees you could find across the board in this country to lead this agency, and we're excited about her confirmation process and know that she's going to be a great CIA director.
But Rand Paul is not.
Rand Paul doesn't always make the right decisions right away, but we hope he gets there because it's definitely the right decision to support somebody who has such in-depth knowledge, such preparedness to take this job on, and somebody that is so qualified to lead this agency.
Sarah, got to ask you about the White House Correspondents Dinner because I don't think you've talked about it since that happened. I don't think you've been on. I know you haven't been on our show. We're so sorry that happened. It's there's no excuse for that. I mean, women should support other women, and I just wanted to get your reaction because I thought you handled it with grace and with class.
Thank you. Look, I think that that evening says a whole lot more about her than it does about me. The people that were my friends before that evening are my friends today, and I'm going to continue doing the job that I came here to do every single day. I'm very proud of the fact that I work in this administration for this president, and we're going to keep pushing forward and doing everything we can to make America better. And I think we've had a great first year and a half at doing that, a huge success story that we're proud of, and I hope that she can find some of the same happiness that we all have, because I think she may need a little bit more of that in her life, because the rest of us here are doing great.
All right. Sarah Huckabee Sanders joining us from the North Lawn of the White House. Sarah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Sarah.
You bet. Thanks for having me.